our legitimate for quite some time, and we need to do something in regards to this. So I'll vote it.
Okay, and then I'm gonna take the vote. I'm gonna follow up with some, comments for you. So all in favor was, the motion passes 5-0, and we'll make sure we get that information. Okay, so you wanted to share, and I think Rob wanted to share too with Supervisor Williams.
Yeah, Mr. Williams, it's Austin Barber. We will look for some opportunities for sewer funds. There may be some ARPA dollars left over that could go potentially to that. So we'll put that down as a priority as well, but on a separate pathway for potential funding.
I'll just ditto exactly what he said. That we're on the same
Yes, sir.
thought process.
Can we say Crawford or Douglastown Road? And the reason I say that is,
Say both.
say both, because kind of the point I made and what Rob was talking about is we don't know, I mean, are they gonna give us $1 million, $250,000, $2 million, $3 million, $5 million? In other words, that number is gonna tell you where it would slide, you know, into.
Is that
okay?
Is that a motion as an amended?
So can we, and Austin, you answer this. Can you present a infrastructure project and see how much money you can get, or does it need to be specifically labeled this road or that road, or?
I know it definitely has to be labeled this road versus that road with details about the construction cost, the area that road services. I mean, those kinds of details. I think that Orlando has had Crawford Road on his mind for a while and has a very good argument for why it needs to be the priority.
No, I agree.
I think if we go with a secondary one, I don't want to.
Dilute.
Yeah,
That's
get it.
exactly the word I was thinking.
yeah. I was gonna say disappoint, but dilute's more proper.
Two D words.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there's primary, secondary, and tertiary.
Yeah,
So I was
exactly. So I think this makes sense.
Fancy words out here.
Yeah.
It's insurance talk.
Last day of the year, last meeting of the year, sorry.
But thank y'all for doing this.
Thank you
in
so
a
much.
unanimous
Anything else?
way. No, I appreciate it very much.
Okay.
Man, we appreciate you.
Thank you.
We
Have a good holiday.
appreciated
Yes, sir.
working with you. We look forward to
Yes,
y'all's
ma'am.
success again in the next year.
Absolutely.
Thank you all.
And I'll give them some props as they leave. They really do help us a lot, and they have come to my rescue on many occasions. So
They do.
Maybe we should stay.
Well, you might need to.
Thank y'all very
Hey,
much.
thank you
Be
for
safe.
everything,
Have all
Austin.
day.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Watson? Morning.
Good morning.
So I've come to talk about the RFP project. So in July, y'all approved for us and the Sheriff's Department to put in an RFP for a new public safety software. And I have some copies of the basic RFP. Now there's not, my question is so we don't know, of course, the prices where we are. Back by wondering, are we still good to move forward with this RFP? Because this money is not budgeted in my budget or the Sheriff's Department's budget right now. So before we get all deep in the woods, you know, y'all approved the RFP in July, and we've done some demos with some different agencies to see kind of what all they offered, and then we submitted these RFPs out, and we won't get them in till January 13th.
February, looks like.
Yeah, so we can award by February if y'all choose to go forward with it, but the packets aren't due back till January the 13th.
The point you
So-
make is the last year of your signing contracts and that kind of stuff. Now, that doesn't mean you can't get things started, but it's gonna be awfully difficult for the next board from a contractual standpoint. Heads up on that.
Yeah.
Don't have it budgeted, and that was our question, since it's not a budgeted item for either one of us, can we move forward with it?
Is there?
Just this would be, so this includes a CAD system, a jail management system, prosecutor suite. There's also a fire suite. This puts mobile dispatch in the sheriff's department's vehicles. It puts update their body cams. They update their car cameras. I mean, this is a full county, and it puts all of us on one system, so we can all share the same data. Right now, we're all on different systems, and it's very confusing. And we're actually still printing a lot of stuff to the sheriff's department. They have to take that printout and put it in their system. So there's a lot of duplicate work. This would save time and be seamless public safety all the way across the county.
You got any ballpark with it?
Yeah,
After talking with you.
I would say anywhere from 500 to 700, the size of our county. Now, I don't know that, and I hate
How
throwing
much
numbers out there
matching?
because we hadn't got them back yet,
How
but
much matching would we be, was this a full grant or we have to
This
do
is
some
not a grant.
match? I mean, okay.
this is not a
This
great.
is paid for.
But now there has been, and I know, I feel like a claw machine at this point because I don't know where y'all are on your ARPA funds, but there has been some guidance from Department of Treasury back in November that says that you can use ARPA funds to do projects like this. And how it's worded is that it's investing in technology and equipment to allow law enforcement to more efficiently and effectively respond. So I mean,
Kristen.
the wording I know is stretching, but
Explain to them, because I don't know that I haven't understood. I'm not gonna speak for Ms. Dillon. But we're on the hook to go ahead and purchase, the
together, so if the deputy does get out at a scene and something happens, now 911 can view his body camera. Right now, nobody can do that. So if he gets in a situation where he can't grab his radio and talk, now we have access and we can actually see what's going on the scene to update everybody that's there. So potentially this could save a responder's life, this can help save a citizen's life. I mean, it's a big project and it's a lot to tackle, but there is a county that had done this, and
Can I pose this, Ms. Administrator?
Yes, sir.
How much of the ARPA funding was allocated to was it 2.6 million to the county lake?
2.6 to the county lake. Now,
Okay.
where we are with the ARPA funds, it's just allocated. No ARPA funds have been spent or sent to any project. There will have to be a board order before I release any money to anything. Now, the last meeting, we lowered the East October to 3.5. That left an additional 1.5. I don't know if the board's intent is to allocate that entire 1.5 to the Octop project because supervisor. So there's an additional 1.5 that's not really allocated to anything.
Well, I thought what we decided was just to take a certain amount from the wastewater funding and allocate it to his district
We did.
project.
So if that's the case, Octop will get the full 2.5 and now East October has the 3.5. But we don't have a board order saying 2.5 is for
I thought it was
Octop.
1.5 to Octop,
Yeah.
because it was and $1 million was made in Sturgis, which made the 2.5.
Right, that's
Well,
what,
see, Maven Sturgis already had it.
Okay,
So right now.
so there's really like $1 million that's left that could be used on that, up to $1 million.
But don't we have to have and I'm just asking, because this is the way that I believe it to be, we have to have that information, that justification that shows that we had a loss?
no. I don't understand where that keeps coming from. The last ruling on the ARPA money was up to $10 million could be used for anything that you normally use regular county funds for without any
That was-
justification.
That was in Oxford.
That was the last ruling. So this money can be, anything that you were gonna originally spend regular county money on, you can spend ARPA money on.
Well, our attorney maybe wants to check into that to make sure that your understanding is clear on that.
It's been said over and over and over and over again.
I think go ahead.
Go ahead, Rob.
Well, here's my thinking. I think I know where you guys are going, which I think what she's talking about would be perfectly connected with this. But what we can do is y'all could could make a motion so long as it is, the answer is in the affirmative, that we can do it that way based on what we think the process is. And that way we can go ahead and move her forward in the direction.
Yeah,
she wants.
assuming that ARPA funds
Correct.
can be used, then I'll do that. I'll make the motion, assuming that ARPA funds can be used to do this, then I'll make motion that we, honor the RFP, you know, and when we get the numbers back, we'll.
And can I make an amendment to that? Assuming that we don't have the ARPA funds that we are thinking that can be used, I would like to make a motion to take $600,000 of the ARPA funds that was allocated to the county lake
Okay.
and move them to this project.
So County Lake now get the
2 million,
and
right.
600,000.
Of that 2.6 million that was allocated to the county lake,
Yes, sir.
will now go to
Okay.
the 0.6 will go to this project.
Thank you.
All right, so question.
So
to-
further discussion on that, will you, I'm not clear that we can do this without having the justification. So I think that I would like, before I voted on that, I would like to know, to get our attorney to actually really investigate that and see if we have to have that, because we challenged Rudy's office to come up with those numbers. And there was a statement in the newspaper last week that Delois was working with Phyllis to see that loss, to write that loss off, that there had to be some loss. So I think I understand that there's a difference of opinion. I'm just asking that we get a legal description that we truly know what the right answer is.
Okay. Well, yeah, assuming that ARPA funds, and I feel they can be used for this, then yeah, I'll make that motion that, when the RFP
And to
comes
have
out.
to check into it, adding her, that portion to this amendment, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And, all right, question. So let's just hypothetical say this comes back at 650,000. That, we just need to know in the forefront is if it's 650, then the other 50 I think we'll be fine. So, but like you said, he's sweeping 600 at least from the county lake then to this, and then we'll see what the total is.
We hope it's not that much, that's just an amount.
Understand.
Ms. Farmer has a question.
This is not about emergency management. I need clarity on the Octalk project. So Octalk already got the 1 million. When we took away the additional 1.5 from East October Hall, how much of the 1.5 the board?
Yeah,
transferred
I see
to
what
Octalk?
our administrator's saying, and that was a mathematical error.
Yeah.
Is, in other words, so the number started off with 6 million to the East October Hall. And then my assumption was, and I do apologize, that $1 million came off from Maven Sturgis. That wasn't the case. $1 million was already for Maven Sturgis. So now last board meeting, we gave 1.5 to the Octalk, which brought it down to 4.5, not 3.5 million. But we gave, we're telling the East October Hall County Wastewater District that they only have 3.5 million. So I think we have another $1 million then if you made.
If that's the case, then you said you're only giving 500,000 of that to Octalk, which now make Octalk having 1.5. If that is the case, then there is 1 million that's not allocated to
Correct.
anything.
Yeah. That would be, yeah.
That would not be enough funds to complete the project. And we really need to fund on top road and lay this project to rest. Another 0.5 or 500,000 would not be sufficient.
Well, actually, that's not true. Looking at the numbers that I saw, if we gave 1.5 million to the Octalk Road, you'd still have $483,028.40 after doing that. In, I guess your allotment, District 5's allotment.
Based on your county funds and your your, the capital improvement bond fund.
That's your 4-year road plan, state aid, the Senate Bill 2971, the bond funds, ARPA dollars, ARPA funds, and the 2017 road fund that was about $80,000, and all the expenses from Hospital Road and from January 2020 to current. You would still have $483,028.40 left if you got 1.5 million. And that's what I assumed last board meeting anyway, is that Octot got 1.5 million. And if anybody'd like to take a look at that,
No, I'm good with
there it is.
Any further discussion?
What's needed for you to release that money? We need to spend some of that money. All we doing is allocate. We need to spend some of it.
Exactly, a board order saying,
Do we have an expenditure that's ready that needs to be paid within this array of allocation?
the only one so far would be the Octot. And Supervisor William and I spoke about that, where he need to do a board order asking for however much he's gonna ask for of the opera funds to be transferred over to his project, because right now, no opera funds have been spent.
I tell you what,
Okay.
I'll make the motion on Octot Road, assuming to give not the 2.5, but 1.5 million of ARPA dollar. I'll make that motion to fund the Octot Road project.
Well, we didn't finish the last motion. Can we go back and,
Yeah, we can finish that.
okay,
That was regarding.
that was regarding, yeah, the RFP. So we've got a motion with all those amendments and a second, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so is there any further discussion on this? And the motion was that, our attorney would investigate whether a study has to be done, to justify a loss to spend the ARPA funds on other projects.
Sure.
That,
Yeah, that was,
that we honor, if that is okay, that we honor Ms. Capanella's request. And that if needed, that the money come from the 2.6 that's allocated to the dam project. If this is all legal, is that,
I'll get it written correctly.
is that everybody's understanding what the motion was? Any, no?
But that motion should not include the Octown Road that we're working on.
No, we were not on that project at that point when that motion was made. We were simply talking about, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Did we wanna cap it to 600,000, or did we wanna open it up to the 2.6? That's the question, because I think the original was capped up to 600,000, and then, I'll do whatever you want me to do, I'm just making sure I got this done.
Right now, you can't put a cap on it when you don't know how much it's gonna be.
I just say we honor her request out of ARPA funds. The first 600,000 will be from the lake. We had a friendly amendment by Supervisor Howard. Anything beyond that, I think we'll have the monies available in the ARPA dollars.
Okay, you've heard all of the conversation and the motion. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Supervisor Williams?
In favor?
What'd you say? In favor.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm gonna abstain until we get the legal reasoning on that.
Now, my understanding now about this ARPA money is we can use it for anything that we would normally use county funds for.
Mhm.
But we still have to keep it separate. It has to, that's where Golden Triangle Plan and Development comes in. And remember, the contract with them was 3% per project. So therefore, that means we've got the wastewater project, we've got the Octot project on the table, we've got the County Lake project, we've got this project. And so however many projects we're doing out of this money, Golden Triangle has to keep them all separate and make sure that all i's are dotted and t's are crossed. And then there will be a 3% fee per project depending upon the amount. So that's my understanding with the way the money has to be, because it has to be kept separate and shown that it was, you know.
The only project right now I see they will need to be involved with, Golden Triangle, is the East October Hall project, because they will have to invoice us in order to receive the funds. Now, as far as emergency management, what they're asking, that's just a matter of us cutting a check and paying for it. So that paper trail would be in-house.
Okay, but that would satisfy the legality of spending that ARPA funds?
As long as all the proper documents are in place to support writing this check, and then we would have the canceled check. It's not like a series of payments.
Okay.
If we agree to just pay it outright, it's just one payment.
Okay.
So in that case, they would have to be involved.
Okay.
As far as the Off Top Road project, those invoices will come through, budget engineering, and I think that could be handled in-house as well. Supervisor Williams still working on where he's gonna be pulling all the funds from for that. But some of the projects I don't think, Golden Triangle have to get involved with. East October Hall they will, because that's an outside entity, not with us.
Okay.
That's spending the funds, so they
Okay.
would have to supervise that. But if it's in-house projects, I think I can handle that.
Okay. All right.
Just,
I'd like to speak to Alcott Road project.
sure.
Station.
Yes, oh, I'm
I
sorry.
wanna say thank y'all. Y'all are always so supportive of us, and I appreciate it, especially, I know how dear that project is to you, so to even to offer that,
Appreciate all the
that's
good
huge,
work you
so
do.
thank y'all.
Hopefully we'll get that one.
We do need to go back and make a motion to accept Mr. Barber's Clearwater report. Motion by Supervisor
Second.
Montgomery, second by Supervisor Trainer. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. All right, Supervisor Williams, go ahead. We're listening.
In relation to, are we finished with,
Yes, yes. Go ahead, we're waiting on you.
okay, those figures that John Montgomery, Supervisor Montgomery gave was incorrect and too insensitive to the needs of the entire District 5 district. District 5 has other needs, just like all your district was able to do projects, but still able to take care of your 4-year road plan also. You have many projects going on in your district other than just one. Now you want to pin me down with just one project in District 5. It's insensitive to the needs of the entire district. If you drive over roads like Moore High Road, you just about tear your car up on the eastern part beyond Moore High School. Those type of projects has to be addressed. So I guess what John wants to see is everything taken out of District 5 to put on our top road, which is not being done by any other district.
No, I think you'd said that
I
there,
reckon
I think you're making a mighty assumption
not
there.
Go down that pathway. That's very insensitive to the needs of the entire district. We only have the Senate bill, which is 1 million. We have 1 million of opera fund, that's 2. And we only have state aid dollars, which is 446,000. Now we're talking about 2,446,000. yes, probably we can use other funds, but we got other projects that are very much in need, just like you have projects. You are taking care of Sturgis Mason Road, but you have many more projects going on in your district. So it's not fair.
So it's not fair that I get $1 million and you get $1.5 million.
Very insensitive.
That's not fair.
Very insensitive to the needs of the entire district five. Each one of you on this board, I drive over your district. You have many projects going on all over your district. So why would you want to take all of the funds that I have out of District 5 and put on our top road? I'm willing to put some on there, and we are going to put some out of 4-year road plan. But why would my 4-year road plan go undone?
Supervisor Williams, if I may, Supervisor Williams, if I may, and I'm trying to understand your reasoning. If from understanding what you're saying is, if I accept your reasoning, I either could have took all of my money and did one project in District 3, or I could have done like I did, was try to separate my money and get more projects done. That's on me. That's on you, whether you try to get one project done with all your money, or you try to separate your money out and do several projects. But for you to say this board is being unfair because you opt to spend all of your money and then want the board to help you do other projects, we're not asking for help to do other projects. I mean, the reasoning you're giving just don't hold water, to be honest with you.
Well,
Wait,
can I reel it back to what my original point was? We're trying to find a way to fund Octok Road. And if I can get my point out, this is what I was gonna say. If you look on, you got your 4-year road plan, your state aid funds, the Senate Bill 2971, the bond funds, you have the ARPA funds balance and the 2017 road balance. That comes to $3,067,328.40. If you add 1.5 million to that, that's $4,567,328.40. If you look down on the bottom of the page, the Octok Road project is $84,300, which would leave you a balance. You would be able to get Octok Road done with $1.5 million. Okay, I'm trying to find a way to get that done for you. All right, which would leave you a balance of $483,028.40. So I think we've jumped from trying to pay for Octok Road to saying that board members are insensitive. So let's stick to the point, which is let's try to get the Octok Road project done. That's from last meeting to this meeting. That was the discussion to be had, and that's the conversation that I was willing to have along with other members of this board. And if you get $1.5 million of ARPA funds, then you're going to still have $483,000 left to do other things in your district. And the project that you talk about going on all over in other districts, the projects that I got going on in my district are, again, out of the dollars that I've allocated, and they're small projects, okay? There's big projects and there's small projects. This is a big project. Crawford Road's a big project. So if Supervisor Trainer came here and asked for $5 million to do Crawford Road, and we can't give it to him, the last thing I think he'd say is that we're being insensitive. So nobody's being insensitive right here. We're giving you a way to get Octok Road done. You still got money in the coffer to do some projects within the district.
Okay. Do we have a motion on the table?
Yeah, my motion is that we transfer an additional $1 million to the Octok Road project to be able to sufficiently put that project to rest.
I thought that Supervisor, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I thought Supervisor Montgomery had a motion on the table. And his motion was,
1.5.
His
My-
motion was to spend 1.5 of the ARPA money for the Octok Road project. Am I correct by saying that?
That, and, okay, let's take it all the way through. The Octok Road project has got a $4,084,300 price tag on it. So what Clyde needs in his board order is to know different line items of where this money's coming from, and I'm gonna go through them. Is you're correct. 1.5 million is ARPA dollars. Okay, 537,000 is 4-year road plan dollars. $446,710.80 is state aid funds, and I'll give somebody a copy of this if they'd like. Another, part 4, is Senate Bill 2971 is $1 million. You have bond funds of $1,306,334.76. And you also have ARPA fund balance, which was some money left over, is $38,732.18. Then you have a 2017 road bond fund balance of $41,887.78, which comes to $4,567,328.40, which is ample money to do the Octok Road project, and he'll still have $483,000 left over.
To do some other.
That is my motion. I don't know if it gets a second, a third, or what.
Second.
You notice how Supervisor Montgomery included everything that District 5 had, including bond funds, and included state aid dollars. Well, state aid dollars is fine. But he also included my 4-year road plan dollars too. Now, I would like to use my 4-year road plan on projects that I know that other residents in District 5 really need. And I like to use some of the bond dollars on other areas in District 5. Don't put the citizens of District 5 at that kind of disadvantage. We can still get October road funding with an additional $1 million.
You were trying to move forward with the ARPA funding, whether we're gonna give him the 1.5 and move forward with ARPA funding.
Total $2 million.
That's up to him.
That's up to him if he wants to decide.
Dollars would be sufficient to take care and finally put this project to rest and not put other citizens in District 5.
I'm gonna speak to his point. Okay, then just,
Supervisor Montgomery acted, but he's not asking
So
for
let's
that to
just
be
give
done.
him a motion to give him that
I'm not gonna call him a bad guy.
For that to be done.
I'm trying to help.
Okay, so not to
gonna
cut
listen
you
to
off,
him.
Supervisor Williams or Supervisor Montgomery,
I ain't listening
but I
to
know
him.
we can keep discussing this over and over again. Right now, we do have a motion and a second on the floor. And I do understand your fundamental objection that you would like to be able to allocate your money as you want to. I do understand that. I just don't know that we've actually seen the plan on that. So I do understand you wanting to do that. I think the whole motion here, Supervisor Williams, was to allocate the 1.5 so you could move your project forward. I think that's what I'm hearing. I do believe if you come back to the board with another presentation of wanting additional funds, I think the board will be certainly willing to listen to that plan of how you want to do that. Supervisor Montgomery, are you dead set on it? You're not wanting to allocate his line items.
No,
Right, you're
just-
leaving his supervisor. That supervisor will be able to allocate his own money how he wants to.
Sure.
Your motion was just to
I was providing a
allocate the
pathway.
1.5 million, so if he wanted to move forward, he can.
That's
Correct.
Is
second
that,
that.
and that
Yes,
was the
that'll
second
make
on that.
I'll
Are
make
you-
that amendment. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Be clear, he's not saying an additional 1.5 million.
No.
He said a total of 1.5 million.
Total.
Yes, sir, at this point, that's what he's saying. I think an additional discussion would be for the next meeting, maybe. You know, I think the discussion on this was just to get that project moved forward, was why, you know, I think this was to aid, to get your project moved forward. But, any further discussion on that? We've got a motion and a second on the floor.
I'm asking for an additional 1 million.
Okay, well, that would be a motion after we get done with this motion, because we do have a motion and a second on the floor. So we've got a motion and a second on the floor. The motion is to allocate if allowed, I assume, the $1.5 million of the ARPA money for the Octok Road project. That's by Supervisor Montgomery, a second by Supervisor Howard. Any further discussion on this? That's the motion that's on the floor. Supervisor Williams, any further discussion?
Yes, I am, in order to be able to be sufficiently fund the Octok Road project and still get some of those very, very, very needed projects taken care of in district. Just like the other supervisors are able to do. Other supervisors are able to do the same thing that I'm asking, that I be able to do also. There should be an additional 1 million, at least 1 million added to District 5 for funds.
Okay, well, we can take that motion up next, if you don't mind. I'm going to, is there anything else you'd like to add on this particular motion? If not, I'm gonna move us forward with a vote.
I think he's got a lag in his.
Yeah, keep talking.
I think he's watching us online too. I think that's what he's doing.
While we're asking, I'd
Okay,
like to get the Maven Bell done. I need another million to get it
You
done.
make a motion?
Okay, let's don't run into the water right now, please. Supervisor Williams, is there anything else that you'd like to say on this particular motion? Are you there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, all right, we're gonna call for a vote. We've got a motion and a second. This is just for the first 1.5 million to allocate towards that project of ARPA funds if it's allowed. We got a motion and a second. All in favor? Supervisor Williams, what's your vote on that?
No,
Okay.
Okay, well, I tell you, he
We've
keeps
got,
voting against getting this project done. Let's just.
No.
we've got three
Okay.
three yes. We've got one no, Supervisor, and I'm going to just abstain for the fact to make sure that we don't have to have the justification to spend money on roads. Okay, so that motion is done. Okay. Anything else?
I'm good.
All right, if we can we move
there's
forward?
something else,
Yes, sir.
in relation to the Octok Road project.
Yes, sir.
There is an additional unused fund of state aid dollars in District 2.
Yes, sir. Can you get that together for us? Can you get that information together for us in a printed version and get it emailed for the next meeting? Would you mind that, so we can look at if that and how that needs to be allocated to any projects? We'd be glad to discuss that. Would that be okay?
Yes, I'm gonna have a motion in regards to that.
Okay.
Now that we own the Octok Road, my motion is that we use the unused state aid dollars, and I've been in communication with Supervisor Trainer.
Hand it to him.
We have had some communication in regards to that. He has been in support of transferring those state aid dollars unused, that's not programmed to District 5, so that we can use those dollars
Okay.
those dollars
did agree to
from
give you
Mount
District
Road.
5's
My motion
allocation.
is to transfer
I mean,
state aid
District
dollars.
2's
Okay,
allocation.
so the motion is to move the allocated, the
District
unallocated,
2's District 2 state aid fund.
Unprogrammed.
this unprogrammed, the motion is for Supervisor Williams is to move Supervisor Trainer's
Can
unprogrammed
he get-
state aid money
Can he
to
get all this in
District
a
5.
package and bring it to us?
So that's the motion. Is there a second on that?
There has been some communication with Supervisor Trainer in regards to that.
Yes, sir. Well, your motion has died with lack of support right now. So,
I'll second it.
okay, so Supervisor Trainer's gonna second it. You have a motion and a second now, okay? So that is your motion to use the state aid dollars from,
What's the amount?
what
What's the amount?
what is the amount, Supervisor Williams?
It's 446,000.
446,000?
I don't know the exact amount, but if
I
you
do.
get all of it.
446,000.
He's getting his allocation, not all of state aid.
No, just District 2.
Okay, he's getting District 2's allocation, he thinks is $446,000. Ms. Farmer can't confirm on that yet.
46,
I'm giving you that.
$710.80.
Well, actually, the exact amount is 446,
710
710
80 cents.
and 80 cents. Okay, so let's put that, so we've got a motion and a second for that. Can I go ahead and call for a vote so we can, move forward, please? Can I call for a vote, please? All in favor? All in favor? Are you good with this?
Good.
Okay, all in favor, it passes 5-0. Yes, sir, you, that got done, okay? So you're getting the transfer of state aid dollars to your district. All right, we're gonna move to the next item on the agenda. The next item on the agenda is Mr. Pritchard, we got Courthouse Road project.
No, you already know. You already know.
Good morning, man.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
I'm on here for Poorhouse, but I got just a couple of quick items. And since,
And before we talk about that, did you notice that little spot at the bridge, right in the middle, where it joins together, that's already breaking apart?
no,
Can you check that out before you sign off on all the paperwork?
well, I'm fixing to ask y'all to sign off.
I know, it just popped up, it's like, where the joint of the bridge and the asphalt is right there, it's right kinda in the middle of one.
I can look, but again, I'm fixing to ask you to sign off.
That's on Poorhouse Road.
If y'all sign off on it, then they're not gonna come back out there, I mean, I'm gonna
That's
let
fine,
know.
you can sign off or not.
Okay.
On Octok, just to bring everybody up to date, based on your prior board orders, we went to state aid and we sent contracts to Falcon, or which they have picked up. And they're getting their bonds and they're doing all their thing. We're gonna have those in January. When we get them, we'll ask y'all to sign them. But before state aid will concur, issue a letter of concurrence so we can issue contracts, they're going to know where all the money's coming from. They're
To my
going
point.
Senate bill, ARPA funds, county funds.
Well, John just
State
laid it
aid
all
fund.
out. He just laid the
You're gonna have to
entire
be
process.
specific with those, and the county funds and the ARPA funds and the Senate bill are gonna have to be deposited in state aid's account before we move forward. But all this is coming to light probably around first, second week in January, cause they have the contracts.
I will get those based on what we have discussed so far. I will get that information to you, Mr. Fine, in terms of where those dollars will be coming from.
We'll have to have it in the form of a board order, that's how you're gonna do it.
Okay, so, we will, can you bring that to us the first board meeting of next year, please?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, all right, so we can get that signed off. Go ahead. Yes, sir, Mr. Pritchard.
Couple other little things on Crawford Road, Supervisor Trainer, I'll need to know what you want the limits of the project to be.
No problem.
So I can provide that to Mr. Barber with an updated estimate. On Harold Road Bridge, we're ready to final that, but we need those Bailey sections picked up by the county if they've not been picked up.
We let Clay County use a couple of sections, but we'll get the other ones picked up.
And I have to have those picked up so I can get my state aid engineer to come down, inspect, and do a final. Okay? Sturgis Maven plans went FedEx to Jackson today for first review by state aid.
Okay.
So we would expect we'll be ready to bid in the spring. Okay? All right, on Poorhouse Road, the first order I would need is an order to increase the project fund by $104,000. This is, I'm understanding from our district engineer, Mr. Taylor, and from Mr. Harley James, there's gonna be other state aid funds available that they're anticipating. Almost $91,000 of this was fuel adjustment from price increase. And the rest would have been some additional base repairs and leveling and that type stuff. But we're ready to close it out. I need an order from the board to increase the project fund through state aid in the amount of $104,000.
Which project?
This is the Poorhouse Road.
It's SAP 538M Poorhouse Road.
May I address the board on that? That's not gonna be a problem. My only issue is that I would ask, there's two concerns. That one area now that has just popped up at the bridge, and you don't know how long we worked to get this project done. And again, this was one of those big projects that we allocated a lot of money in the district too. So, and then the other place, of course, that I'm really concerned about is where the road was damaged, and I don't know that there's anything that can be done, but where that low boy, the hydraulics broke off of it, where it turned into log right there, and it tore the road up. It's already beginning to create an issue right there. I know that's probably not in this part. I would just ask Mr. Pritchard to go back and look at that ridge joint before we completely sign off on it. But I'm good with the adjustment. That just popped up maybe with this cold and rain. Would that be a possibility? I'm just asking the board.
I guess that's a couple of separate things, so we'll go ahead and move forward with the adjustment. And then,
The acceptance date on this project final by state aid and by us, November 4th, 2022.
the acceptance
So
date.
there's no going back and checking, Clyde, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
If there's not, then okay,
By letter, in accordance with the request, final inspection has been made on the caption project. The construction of this project has been complete, and the construction acceptance date is November 4th, 2022.
So the board has signed off on, accepted it, and got a board order
But
accepting it?
that's the board orders I'm bringing to you today.
Oh, that's what you want today?
State aid is wanting to final this project as of November
It's
the
up to you
4th.
whether you wanna sign off on that.
they said that they've already looked at it. I was just asking the board to consider, to look at that one
I
area.
know where you're talking about the low boy, which was an issue, but
But there's an area right by a bridge, on the other section of it now, that in one of the lanes, it looks like it's, for some reason, come apart or something a little bit. It's like a space area. I could be wrong, I'm not an engineer, but it is concerning to me, because once it starts breaking, with the cold and the rain.
what you're kind
potholes
of
will
wanting to
start.
do is
But
pay
if they've
it,
already
but-
signed, my question would be to Clyde, if they've already signed off on it, then they're not gonna go back and relook at it, are they, Clyde? They've already said they've inspected it and,
On November 4th, state aid was down here, we were down here, they went end to end and said, this project's good, we're done.
okay.
Is
Well,
that, Clyde, there's not a at least 12-month workmanship
They do
guarantee
have,
on
they
that,
do
that you can
have,
get them to come back?
they do have a warranty period that I think we
Well,
can get them to come back.
Okay, so
Get
we
them
can
to come
sign off
back.
and ask for them to come back and address those issues. Would that be okay with the board, that I would make that
don't
motion?
see the low
Second.
boy issue you see, I don't see you getting Falcon to help on that.
No, I-
If there's a defect at the bridge, then I think we could probably get that addressed.
I doubt if you're gonna get some help on the low boy,
I mean, we can get
but
our
you
county
should be
crews to
able
come
to get
out
them
there.
back on this bridge.
If
It's a
defect right
workmanship
there.
defect.
And in all fairness, you asked me to look on Reed Road the other day where the
Absolutely.
city quit, and they put that marriage line between bridges, and you doing this type of construction, next type, is
Can
a
be-
really hard spot to to get right. And
In
it
line,
could- it could-
Yeah, but that shouldn't have been that hard to leave it that bad. I hate to blast people in public like that, but that was just poor workmanship, and if you had moved on down the road even further, you'd have seen even worse workmanship. So, I understand what you're saying, but for that transition point right there, is no way on God's green earth it should have been that bad.
And that's, make sure we're talking about the same spot on the
Right,
west
there's
end
my
where the
Bible
city.
Yeah, well, the city and the county joins it. No way on God's
I
green
think it was a
earth. it should have-
combination of one coming in high and one coming in low, but. in
Should have
any-
been better workmanship. Should have been better oversight, should have been better workmanship.
Everybody, unless it's just gonna come out of the.
We'll just take that.
Okay, I got
Okay.
you.
All right, so I'm going to make the motion to go ahead and pay the adjustment and then go ahead and close out the project with the option for us to go back and ask for them to, Mr. Pritchard, to reassess that area and see if they need to come back and anything needs to be done any different. There'll just have to be some transfer, some funds, but Ms. Farmer and I just talked about that, and she'll get that put where it needs to be. So that's my motion.
Second.
I got a second by Supervisor Trainer. Any further discussion on that? All in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
Who seconded?
I did.
Oh, okay, motion passes 5-0.
There are actually two separate orders right here that require a signature from the president and Ms. Sharon, one of them is for your signature also. There's two separate orders and 2 copies of each.
That's two separate orders now. One is to close out and then another is to increase. So that's two separate orders. Gotta make sure we got it like.
Okay, so that was actually 2 orders?
And I'm just gonna, the same vote,
Yeah.
is that?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so the same vote will be on both orders.
Ms.
One
Sharon,
is to close it out and the other is to make the adjustment of the increase.
and we can just pick those up later, Ms. Sharon.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I'll pick those up.
Just making sure what you're signing. Those are the orders that they send back.
This
2 of the
is-
orders are prepared by state aid. One will be yours from the county for the increase in
You
funding.
straightened me out, that's what I was wanting to know.
Okay.
Okay, I need a motion to accept Mr. Pritchard's, presentation today, please,
So
and then
moved.
we'll let him. Got a motion by Supervisor Montgomery and a second by Supervisor Howard to accept Mr. Pritchard's presentation. All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you,
Merry
Brian.
Christmas to you.
Yes, sir.
Do you wanna see this too? Okay. Yeah, it's on both, yes ma'am. Okay, we're gonna move on now. Mr. Baggett, heavy, equipment purchase,
Good morning. Good morning.
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 or heavy equipment, the road department, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
We received bids on the zipper, but at the request of, one of the supervisors, I went to Laos and looked at a milling machine, and I've asked them to come by at the next board meeting and do a small presentation. So, a short presentation. I would rather wait until that time before I make any recommendations regarding this equipment. That's okay with the board?
Sure, sure.
Okay, we got a motion to, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
To,
Allow Lyle Equipment to come by and talk about a milling machine
okay,
in lieu of the,
zipper.
zipper. That's
Okay,
correct.
so the motion is to allow Lyle Equipment to come by and discuss the options of a milling machine versus the zipper by Supervisor Montgomery.
Second.
Second by Supervisor Trainer. Any further discussion?
Discussion.
Okay.
Attorney,
Yes, sir.
if we wait until next year,
Contract.
we can only, there's a certain amount that we can only,
Right.
so how much will that be?
How much is?
How much
The
is it?
zipper is 300,000. This other
Think
one,
we can do up to 400.
That's been budgeted? In other words, are there funds that we can pay for?
yes, I've been budgeted out, yes, for that
So
one.
long as it's not a contract that flows over into the next board's deal, we can do whatever we wanna do. The
Yeah.
issue-
Can't buy stuff in there last year.
Right.
Okay.
And it's to make sure that the last term of a supervisor, that they don't allocate a lot of expense to the next board term.
Okay.
So in the last year of a term, we can't buy stuff if we don't have the money to pay for it.
And you've already budgeted it from this year, that's my understanding, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
For the zipper.
Find out.
For the zipper.
Okay, so that motion passes, oh, we didn't have a vote. I need a motion on that, please.
Well, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to know the size of the milling machine and the cost. I didn't understand that part. And two, the size and the cost of the zipper. It seems that the zipper has been decreased in a way to a 3-foot zipper instead of a 6-foot one that we agreed on earlier. Can you give the price and the size of both equipment?
The price of the zipper is $329. The size of the zipper is the same that we ordered. It's 6 foot. Now there were some guys that submitted prices for others, but they asked to be excluded from the retract their bids because they misunderstood the specifications. And so the size is the same, and the price is $329. Now on that milling machine, the size is 6 foot, and it could be as much as $600,000. But now we're talking about a much more efficient machine.
And that's where you wanna have that presentation and see
That's why I want to have a presentation for the
what
board.
direction to go.
Yes.
All right. Any further discussion? I'm sorry, go ahead. Yes, sir.
I will understand that both machines will not only mill, but it will also set the road up for DBST paving also.
No, it will do dig out up to 14 inches, but it won't set the
We're
road
gonna
up.
incorporate material like, I guess
But the zipper would.
No,
neither.
Neither
machine.
one will set the
Neither
road
one.
up.
Okay.
Any further discussion, Supervisor Williams? If not, I'm gonna call for a vote.
No thank you. No further.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
okay. Can I introduce two other cover requests?
Yes, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, one, 507 New Hope Church Road.
507, what?
New Hope.
New Hope
New
Church
Hope,
Road.
New Hope Church Road needs a culvert. Got a motion by
Second.
Supervisor Montgomery, second by Supervisor Howard. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, on at 1070 Poorhouse Road, the road department needs to go back in there and upgrade that bus turnaround. The weather has caused it to be very bad, and there's no way to turn it around. I looked at it, I met Mr. Gibson out there, and we,
Okay, and this is what address?
1070 Poorhouse.
All right, on 1070 Poorhouse Road, you got a motion to redo the bus turnaround. That's motion by Supervisor Montgomery, second by Supervisor Howard. Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
Aye.
5-0. We need to start on re-putting the stuff back on my district.
Oh, we started last week.
You
We've
did,
done-
okay,
we've
I
done,
didn't.
Yeah, we've done 3 roads.
Oh, you have, great. Okay, thank you so much. I need a motion to acknowledge, Mr. Baggett's report. Motion by Supervisor Montgomery, second.
I have something I'd like to interject.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
A cover request at 269 Blair Road.
269 Blair Road.
Second that.
At 269 Blair Road.
Okay, got a motion by Supervisor Montgomery, a second by,
He motioned.
oh,
and seconded.
Supervisor Williams, I'm sorry, second by Supervisor Montgomery. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Something else for the road manager, please.
Yes, sir.
At this report. It came to my attention that a tree was sprayed by herbicide at 4740 Blackjack Road. and that tree has died since then, and I motion that we talk to, be in communication about the spraying of that tree and possibility of replacing it. So I like for the county to look into the possibility of replacing a sugar maple tree at 4740 Blackjack Road.
Sugar maple can't even live in
sprayed
Mississippi.
with herbicide.
That's the
Is the
problem.
county spraying, did we
That,
do
that
some
happened,
spraying?
that happened in August.
We sprayed.
Oh. You know, we have the herbicide man that came through.
Well,
That's what I'm
sure
asking, is it up, is the county spraying
maple
or is
can't
the
live in
The
a
herbicide man,
contract?
the
Okay.
contract.
Okay, so the motion is to have the road department, open discussion. I'm gonna say that, I'm gonna say that, our contracted spray company needs to be the one to address that, instead of the road department. Would that be okay, Mr. Williams? Supervisor Williams?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, because he knows if the chemicals could possibly kill a tree or not, or, you know, if it had anything to do with construction or just drought, you know, what would cause that. So would that be okay if we just pass that request along and, we get the attorney to or the Ms. Farmer to contact, Greg Wall and,
I think he need to, he know they wild.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah, and I've been in
okay,
contact.
okay, so what we're gonna do is have, Mr. Baggett, contact, the spray company and, see if there's an agreement on the tree or if they feel like that was the pesticide that killed it. Is that okay?
I think we need some communication and possibly a ruling on that, at the next board meeting. At the next board meeting, because the planting season is about to come to a close.
Okay, well, we'll ask, Mr. Baggett to make sure Mr. Wall sends us something in an email after he goes out and looks at that, where they're, for that discussion. That's the motion by Supervisor Williams. I need a second by Supervisor Montgomery to have Mr. Baggett contact Mr. Wall and come back with some type of report on that. All in favor?
All right.
Motion passes 5-0, and that's for a tree on Blackjack Road.
Just quickly, Howell Road, I don't know what the final is, I know we can't, it's too late to talk about, surfaces yet. But just through the winter, it's gonna need some maintenance, graveling, cause it gets pretty raunchy and wet and red mud and slippery after rains and stuff, so I just, you know, make sure we keep it monitored through the winter and try to keep it passable.
Okay, and while Mr. Baggett is here, I'm gonna go ahead and present this to the board. Not that you necessarily do the tree removal, but, Mr. Castleberry, gave this to me. I called Rob on Friday. This is the county property on Felix Long, and they have asked, they're working on the church property, and there's 3 trees that need to be removed. They've asked to clean our property up, and remove those 3 trees right there. And they're cleaning all the bamboo and everything up so it looks aesthetically better. So he sent this, and this is the deed of the property, and he asked would we please consider removing those 3 trees. So I'm just gonna present this to the board and present this to Rob, and maybe you can come back and let us know on that. So I just wanted Mr. Baggett to be aware in case you needed to haul something off, okay? All right, I need a motion and a second to accept his report. Did we finish? I got him. Okay, second by Supervisor Trainer, motion by Supervisor Montgomery, second by Supervisor Trainer. All in favor to accept the road manager's report? Motion passes 5-0. Okay, moving right along. Ms. Livingston.
I got a couple of things. I need to amend the attachment order that we done for October 2021 for the amended budget.
So move.
Got a motion to amend the attachment budget the attachment to the budget?
Right,
To
to the amended budget.
the amended budget,
That we
okay.
did in October of 2021.
Okay, all right, and got a motion by Supervisor Montgomery, second by Supervisor Trainer, is that correct?
Yes.
Trainer and Howard.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Supervisor Williams? Motion passes 5-0.
And the second thing I need to do, an amendment to the attachment for the amended budget for October of 2022.
Okay?
So
Did you get that right?
Second.
Say that one more time, that's tongue tighter,
Okay,
really
it's,
fast. No, I'm just kidding. Just say it.
it's an amend the attachment for the amended budget for October of 2022 and 2021.
Okay.
You know this, how
I
this is.
get what
you know that.
Okay, so we got a motion by Supervisor Montgomery, a second by Supervisor Trainer to amend the motion. And, all in favor? Motion passes
Who said aye?
He said-
5-0. Okay,
That's
All
all
right.
I have.
that's all you have. We do these individually.
It's up to you.
I have some no's, so I would ask that. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Payroll changes in your package for approval.
All in
I'll make-
favor? I need a motion.
For all of them, or are we doing them individually?
We're doing each line individually.
All right, for the payroll changes, I'll make the motion.
Second.
Got a motion by Supervisor Montgomery, a second by Supervisor Howard to approve the payroll changes. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
You have an invoice from Kemp Associates in the amount of $1,510.14.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Howard to approve the invoice. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
You have an invoice from Pickering Farm in the amount of $4,620.
So moved.
Motion by
Second.
Supervisor Howard, second by Supervisor Trainer. All in favor?
Aye.
4-1, I'm a no.
You
All
have
right.
an invoice from Mississippi Engineering Group in the amount of $46,266.07.
So moved.
Supervisor Howard made the motion, second by Supervisor Trainer. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion 4-1, I'm a no.
You have a right-of-way from Telepac on Blackjack and Bartwell Road.
Motion.
Second.
Got a motion by Supervisor Montgomery, a second by Supervisor Howard. All in favor?
Aye.
Need to adopt.
Wait, I'm waiting on Supervisor Williams. All in favor? Telepac? Okay.
got a lag.
5-0.
Need two roads, you need to adopt two 911 roads, Tucker Lane and Dudley Lane.
Motion by Supervisor Montgomery, second by Supervisor Trainer to accept these the names for these 911 roads. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
School bus turnaround at 99 John Walker Lane.
So moved.
Motion Supervisor Howard, Williams, second by Supervisor Howard. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
School bus turnaround at 1969 Turkey Creek Road.
I make a motion.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Williams. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
We have a local cooperation agreement and right-of-way entry from Tom Bixby River Valley Water Management for a drainage ditch in Addison.
So moved.
Motion by Supervisor Howard, second by Supervisor Montgomery. All in favor?
He
Motion
needs the
passes
help,
5-0.
Lord have mercy.
That's all I have, but I have two quick notes. Tomorrow, we're asking all county employees to wear maroon or Mississippi State attire in honor of, head coach Michael
and Williams.
That'll be tomorrow, so we're asking every county employee to do that. It's optional. Also, I was contacted, I can't think of the name, but we're gonna do a walkthrough of the building next Wednesday with a company, I forget the name, that's getting ready to start looking at the old hospital. So we're gonna meet next Wednesday, and I'll keep you all updated as that goes. And I'll get with Major Design to come up. One quick thing, are you all wanting Justice Court to go in that building too? Cause that's what I was thinking. That's gonna have a difference in the cost. So I need to know when I get with Major Design for Clearwater to come up with how much. the
Oh, you mean to
building-
design the new
Yes.
county complex?
Yes, so Justice Court, I was thinking.
They need a new place, for sure.
They really do. But I got some other plans with that too, but I
Okay,
just need
okay.
to know.
Yes.
Okay, all right, that's all I have.
Okay, all right. We're gonna move down to, wow, we are actually ahead of time. I'm surprised. Rob?
If y'all want to skip me and do yours, then that way we can come back to me, or, because I've got to go into executive
Okay,
session.
we can. All right, so we're gonna move down to county business. Supervisor Howard, we'll start with you.
Just one thing, Mary Ann called, and said that the landfill is closing the Monday after Christmas and the Monday after New Year's. They've never did this before, so that's gonna put a kink in trying to get garbage. She said she's called and asked and begged and pleaded, but they said they're not gonna open. So
And will they share that on social media so I can
she's
share
put it
that?
on. She's put it on her social
Okay,
media.
all right, so I'll make
now,
sure I
so-
share that out to the citizens so they realize, because they always ask if they're
Yeah.
garbage.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
That's all I've got.
Supervisor Trainer.
Yes, I wanted to invite the Board of Supervisors over to the hospital. They're having the open house for the mobile exam unit today. That's a part of the rural health study. They should be there from 11 to maybe 12, 15-ish. And they're wanting to invite the Board of Supervisors to come by and tour the MEU and also get a better understanding of the rural health study project that's going on here in Ocklawaha County. So if you have some time, just stop by the hospital. You'll see the crowd, just mix and mingle. And they won't be that long due to this weather, but at the same time, just come by and stop by and support it if you can. Also, I still think that we need to look at the possibility of having the road department summit, and also look at trying to set up some training opportunities for some of our, not only road department staff, but any staff person or any county employee that wants to enhance their level of skills so they can be more effective and also be more of a useful resource to the county. And I think that we need to look at the possibility of, I think the State Personnel Board, when we went to our last supervisors meeting, is offering that service to do training and some other things that's going on. I see they got a great construction management program out here at EMCC. They're getting ready to start.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got some people, I think, that we're investing some good resources into with salaries, but at the same time, I think we also need to invest in allowing them to get better training so they can be better effective for us, and also it'll help them too, you know, if they decide to do something different. So I want us to look at putting some emphasis on that. Time is, we got some downtime now, and I think now is the time to kind of get our troops together and get them energized and get them better trained, better equipped, better qualified, and at the end of the day, we can provide a better service to the citizens. That's what the end goal is.
Okay, all right. Supervisor Williams.
Yes, one of the Justice Court judge, I'm not giving a name right now, but is concerned about additional security at the Justice Court building. I'd like for us to be in communication with Justice Court and try to come up with an idea to increase the security with that building.
You wanna, I tell you,
So that's my motion, that we be in communication with Justice Court in terms of how can security be increased at the Justice Court building.
I'll make that second. Do you wanna, add to that Captain Watson, that's
Yeah.
kinda his specialty?
He's already working on
Yeah.
that. He, myself and the sheriff, we actually went down to Attorney Robertson's office. Was it last month? We met about security and, the Justice Court clerk and one of the judges. So they're working on something now.
Just so that y'all are aware, I'm not suggesting what you will or won't do, but there's gonna be additional expenses, and from what I've gathered, it's gonna be more than what I would have initially thought. I won't put a budget on it, I'll
Yeah,
just
no.
let you know.
Captain Watson will come before the board with that. He's working on something now.
Have we got to the point where we need to have security at all of our buildings at all times? From the courthouse to the circuit building to, I mean, just have somebody there at all times?
I thought we were putting together some plan for that. Can Captain Watson come and sort of update us
Give us
on
an
where he's at
overview.
with
Yeah,
all of that?
he's working on it, but I'll let him know.
Yeah, but I agree, it is. People just real
Stay where he is.
unpredictable now.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Supervisor Williams. We're gonna address that. Supervisor, anything else?
No, I don't have anything else.
Okay, thank you. Supervisor Montgomery?
I'm good. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. I'm just gonna share one thing, with the board, and that was that, I'm gonna talk about the horse part for just a second. Last month, we were awarded with a great big award. It's called the Justin Boots Best Footing Award. And it's for the Rotary Rodeo, but it's for how the ground is to the contestants that travel around the country. The award was awarded in Las Vegas, Nevada. There's 9 states in the Southeastern Circuit, and there's numerous pro rodeos, and the contestants vote on the best rodeo. And our rodeo in our community won the best for the Southeastern Circuit. There were 2. The second and third place were in Florida, and most improved was the Dixie National. So
Congratulations.
may not be the biggest rodeo that happens that you hear of, but it is the very best. And the contestants feel that way, and it's nice to hear that consumer award. And what it does, you know, the rodeo does for our community as a whole, all the proceeds going back here. So I
We
wanted to
certainly
share that
appreciate
with
your
you.
leadership in that.
Yeah, that's impressive out there, I gotta say.
Congratulations.
Very nice.
So I just wanted to share that. I guess now we need a motion to see if we go into executive session. We need a motion to go in closed session to see if we need to go into executive session.
I'll make the motion.
Got it by Supervisor Montgomery, second by Supervisor Howard. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0.